Pakistan and its proxies are at it again. ISI-backed terrorist Farhatullah Ghori wants to stoke trouble in India. He's asked his sleeper cells in India to carry out attacks on trains across the country. A video that's now doing rounds on social media, Ghori reveals his intention to disrupt India, criticize the Indian government's crackdown on terror activities and terror funding. Investigations are underway regarding potential links between Ghori's directives in this video that's being circulated and recent incidents of sabotage that may or may not have happened as far as Indian railways are concerned. Now Ghori also called for a Fidayeen war or suicide attacks and wants to target the Indian economy. Now this terror mastermind has called agencies as well, among others. He has shared his plan in this 12-minute video that has now been shared specifically on the social media platform Telegram for the last 2 weeks or so. In this video, over those 12 minutes, he goes on to ask his sleeper cells, ask Muslim youth specifically, to attack rail and other transport infrastructure here in India. He says petroleum pipelines in India must also be attacked. Disrupt the supply chain and damage the economy. This is the plan that he's outing in this 12-minute video. He says government functionaries in India and Hindu leaders must also be targeted. He talks of how the ED and the NIA are targeting their assets and how they're cracking down on their terror nexus and those sleeper cells. But we will return is a threat he makes in that video. He says we'll shake the government here. Now, Farhatullah Ghori, who is also known as Abu Sufyan or Sardar Saab or Faru, has been linked to several such high-profile attacks in India. He was designated as a terrorist in October 2020 by the Ministry of Home Affairs. He is believed to have masterminded the 2002 Akshardham temple attack in Gujarat that killed over 30 people and injured 80 others. He was also behind the 2005 suicide attack on the task force office in Hyderabad. Now, Ghori and his son-in-law, Shahid Faisal, have a strong network of sleeper cells in southern India, is what the intelligence agencies believe. The most recent attack in which his role is suspected is the Rameshwaram cafe blast that took place in March this year. Ghori is allegedly orchestrating online jihadist recruitment. Delhi police arrested 3 most wanted terrorists from Delhi and Uttar Pradesh last year and revealed that Ghori was their handler. A few months ago, Delhi police took the name of Ghori on record after several terrorists of Pune ISIS module were arrested from across the country. Now, notably, this train derailment threat has the Indian authorities on alert. Certain train derailment incidents in the recent past could be reviewed and investigated as well, is what we're learning. But as far as intelligence agencies are concerned, they're not exactly worried at the moment. Sources that have spoken to our investigations editor Manoj Gupta have now said that this is nothing but a radicalization propaganda by Farhatullah Ghori. He wants to stay relevant because he's not making headlines. He wants to keep this so-called movement alive when there are no takers. This video only reveals frustration on his part because his appeal on other platforms is not making any waves, is what intelligence agencies believe. Agencies in India are monitoring exactly what is transpiring, how far and wide this video has been circulated and what the ramifications could be. But so far, what we think it is are just empty threats. But does this mean that we could be looking at instances of sabotage in the recent past? Remember, there have been several train derailment incidences in the recent past. Just in this year alone, we've had the government and the Union Railways Minister on record in the past also say that investigation would be conducted. There were foreign objects that were placed on tracks that led to these derailments as well. Today, when this question was put to him again, here's what the Union Railways Minister had to say.
बहुत ही सेंसिटिव मुद्दा है. देखो, ईच एंड एवरी इंसिडेंट हम लोग डिटेल्ड इंक्वायरी कर रहे हैं और कई इंसिडेंट्स में बहुत ही एक वेरी डिस्टर्बिंग ट्रेंड सा दिख रहा है जिसको सीरियसली लेना चाहिए. और मैं नहीं मानता कि रेलवे कोई पॉलिटिकल आरोप प्रत्यारोप का विषय है. रेलवे एक ऐसी संस्था है, रेलवे और डिफेंस 2 ऐसी संस्थाएं हैं देश में जो कि दे शुड बी अबव पॉलिटिक्स, जिसमें हमें कहीं पर भी देश के लिए जो ज़रूरत है, देश की लाइफलाइन है, इसके कहीं पर भी कोई भी अगर नेगेटिव इसमें होता है तो उसके ऊपर हम सबको मिलके, चाहे पक्ष हो, विपक्ष हो, अपक्ष हो, चाहे गवर्नमेंट हो, चाहे सिटीजन्स हो, चाहे मीडिया हो, चाहे इंडस्ट्री हो, हर किसी को मिलके वी शुड ट्राई एंड मेक श्योर दैट रेलवे रन्स इन अ वेरी एफिशिएंट मोड. सारा फोकस उस पर है और इसके अलावा मैं ज़्यादा कुछ कहना नहीं चाहूँगा, लेकिन ज़रूर इस तरह की एक डिस्टर्बिंग ट्रेंड दिखाई दे रही है और कुछ आज न्यूज़पेपर्स में भी मैंने सुबह पढ़ा था, कुछ ऐसी खबरें भी आई हैं जो और भी डिस्टर्बिंग है।
So how exactly should India deal with something like this? It may be empty threats at the moment, but we obviously should be wary of it. We should have our guard up. Major Anna A.K. Sivaj, Defence and International Affairs expert, now joining us on the broadcast. So thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. You know, the kind of threats that have come to the fore now, alarming may not be the word, but they're disturbing for sure. It is something that India needs to be wary of, especially given that we have seen several such train derailments in the past, in the recent past.
Absolutely, Poonam, no doubt about it. See, you can't take it lightly. You know, it can't be a coincidence that number of incidents which have taken place, and it raises a lot of doubt that why such an incident is taking place in a particular area only. So the point which is there is the news which is coming out, the intelligence agencies are working that this Farhatullah Ghori, which is basically a person from Hyderabad, and he is declared terrorist by our government, is now in Pakistan. The ISI is handling him, and here a number of sleeper cell and overground workers which are working, especially in the southern part of the country. So he can be a big threat in time to come. Of course, we don't have to worry, but then we can't take lightly all these things. 2 and 2 Malay 4, you know, very recently when the 3 terrorists were caught in Delhi also, before they could basically execute their task, they have in interrogation told that their handler was Farhatullah Ghori, and his son-in-law also is involved in such incidents, and they have been basically sponsored by the Islamic State. So the point today is that we have to work systematically. We have to understand that this is a real threat in future, and this is an invisible threat. It is not a threat which you can easily make out, because they, how do they make their own module is through radicalization on the real time, on basically through the internet. And you find that these people are very ordinary looking people, and you will not suspect them, and all of a sudden you will find number of incidents taking place. It will create havoc in the society. Now the threat which is giving, of course we don't have to worry that, but of course as an intelligence man which I have worked so much in Indian Army, I can tell you that you can't take any such thing lightly, because what is trying to convey derailment of the railway lines and disrupt the supply chain and try to make many other innovative methods of creating havoc in the society. So we have to be very, very careful. And mind you, he's not alone. The ISI is behind him. ISI is known for doing all these things. ISI is waiting for an opportunity to create havoc, because ISI is now feeling it that Pakistan is politically unstable, economically in distress, and the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan and Baluchistan Liberation Army are now becoming powerful day by day. So they will like to divert the attention. They will like things to happen in India. So ISI can go to any extent.
In that video, he also goes on to talk about how the ED and the NIA are cracking down, but we have to shake the government. So clearly, they are feeling the heat. The kind of terror crackdown that's taking place, not just in Jammu and Kashmir anymore, in the rest of the country as well. All of that is clearly unnerving proxies of Pakistan like him.
Very correct. You know, you have hit the nail on the head. You know, he has got 2-3 tasks in hand. One is that he is trying to create a communal disturbance. He is trying to create a wedge in the society by telling that certain section of the society is being targeted by NIA and ED, and we must take a revenge on the government by doing number of terrorist action. And the second thing what they are trying to convey is they are undermining the authority of the government. So you have to take it very seriously, and you cannot take any input lightly. Now remember that this chap is now a fugitive. He is in Pakistan. Pakistan will like to make use of such a terrorist who is basically belong to India, and there is a deniability factor. You know, the Financial Action Task Force sword is always hanging on Pakistan for money laundering and terrorist funding.
Correct.
They have very, after long time, they came out from the grey list to and as on today they can again put on a grey list, because the track record is very, very poor. So they will like to make use of a fugitive like him, Farhatullah Ghori, who is Indian, and they will deny that he is in Pakistan. So I will only say, Poonam, we have to take it this allegation, this threat which is being circulated through media and telegram seriously, carry out thorough investigation. But certainly the cause of concern is the southern part of country, especially the radicalization increasing through the internet is a cause of concern.
There's another piece of information that's now trickling in, and that too is concerning, is the fact that the interim government in Bangladesh has now decided to release Jashmuddin Rahmani of the ABT, which is the Ansarul Bangla team. This was done last week. His release is going to be a cause of concern for India. He's a close associate of Al-Qaeda. He is known for his anti-India propaganda. He is a pro-Al-Qaeda chief of an Islamist outfit. The government is looking at Indian interests, of course, here in India, but clearly that doesn't seem to be the prerogative of the interim government in Bangladesh. This is going to create a new problem as far as India's fight on that frontier is concerned. How concerning is this development? Unfortunately for us, it's on both our frontiers now, both Bangladesh and Pakistan. That's causing concern for New Delhi. But a release of a pro-Qaeda propagandist, what could that mean for India?
Very correctly said. You know, the situation, the way things are fanning in Bangladesh is not good for India. 2-3 developments which have taken place. One is this Al-Qaeda supporter has been released from the jail. Second thing is Jamaat-e-Islam